Hi guys, so today I'm at our clubhouse, Sunway Traction Karting, and yeah, I'll be speaking with a legend today, Alex Yoong. And that's Abang Isham there. Hi Isham. Yeah, Circle Cafes. See our Evo Club logo there. Okay guys, so this racer here needs no introduction. Malaysia's first F1 driver.
Hey,
and
everyone.
and he's buying me coffee. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, it's free.
You're the man, bro. You're the man. So guys, in today's video, I'm going to be chatting with Alex, and he's going to tell me the story of his life. From we all know about Alex's adventures in F1, but what a lot of us don't know, and something that I also learned, very late on after I joined this industry and met this guy a few times, is the journey he took to get here, to get there. All right. Then what happened to him after F1, and what's keeping him busy these days. So plenty of things to share.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Milk or sugar?
Huh?
Milk or sugar?
Black, no sugar.
Alright, okay.
Too much for me.
What'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do?
Alright guys, so today I have Alex, Malaysia's first F1 driver. Alex, you have no idea what a big honor this is for me, right? Because I followed your career right from when you first burst into the scene.
Yeah, well, it's an honor for me, man. How many subscribers do you have on YouTube, right?
Hey, no lah, bro. You blazed the trail for us back then, alright? But the thing is, a lot of us knew about your time in F1, and quite unfortunately, that was a very brief period.
Yeah.
But it was a very long journey for you to get there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So my time in F1 was only a year and a half.
Oh.
But you're right, it was a whole build up to it. I was very fortunate because, my father ran Batiga.
Yeah.
So I was always able to get lots of laps at the Sharan track.
Yeah.
And had access to people like Wires Car.
Yes.
All the old gang.
Yeah.
So that was a start.
Yeah.
But we had no racing back then,
Yeah.
I mean, we had no high level racing here. It was all club racing kind of,
Yeah.
touring cars
Yeah.
and stuff. There wasn't even a proper karting scene, so I started with Proton Sagas.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a difficult journey, and
Yeah.
the journey really only happened when it only really took off because father was able to get me to Europe.
All right.
We won races in Formula Asia regionally, which was a good starting point.
Right.
But to get to Europe, very lucky. Silverstone Tires sponsored me. I think also Hybrid actually sponsored me that first year.
Yeah.
So it got us to Europe,
Yeah.
and we were able to start racing there.
Yeah.
And Europe is where you really learn.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Formula One, you have to be based in Europe.
Yeah.
That's why when people say, "Oh, Formula One driver is important for the economy," that's not really true, because you have to send the drivers to Europe,
Yeah.
which is too expensive and it does nothing for the motorsport community locally.
Correct.
So it was good to get there. Obviously, the financial crash in '97, '98, and then
Yeah.
no sponsors.
Yeah.
So we literally had to beg, borrow, and steal to keep going.
Yeah.
And again, just lucky, we just kept going somehow, picked up a good result here, not so good result, but a good result here, kept us going. And a lot through family and friends who just
Yeah.
kept us going at that
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
One of our vloggers, Alex Yoong.
Yeah. Yes.
He was a
Alex
key,
Stamrock.
yeah, he's SVM Rock. He was a key part of helping me get there.
Yeah.
So we never had any financial support.
Yeah.
until that last step in Formula One.
Yeah, yeah,
Only when we reached Formula One, we were very fortunate. Of course, the sports ministry supported it.
yeah,
But the Magnum was the one that came in with all the money.
yeah.
So that got us into Formula One.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is that how long was that journey from your first race till you got to Europe, and then you enter F1?
Actually, it was only 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Only 10 years.
So that's the standard we look at.
Yeah.
Basically, we need to do 10. We look at 12, 14 years.
Yeah.
But we look at kids coming into karting at like say 8 years old,
Yeah,
and we say 10 years.
Yeah.
As an 8-year-old, you're a 6-year-old, and it's like
So
you get more.
10 years is considered short,
Yes, it's considered short.
right?
Max Verstappen started like as a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
and he was in Formula One at 17. So that's 13 years.
Well, my daughter's turning 4 this year.
Yeah, exactly. So 10 years is a bit short,
Yeah.
and especially because I never did karting. So I
Yeah.
went from sagas to AE92s
Yeah.
to some single-seater racing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
always a few races here and there. So looking back, there wasn't enough driving, but we had to do it because I
Yeah.
started at 16. I
Yeah.
started very old.
Oh, you started at 16.
I started old. So
And how old were you when you went to Europe?
19, I think. 19, yeah.
You know, just like it's interesting you mentioned a lot about keeping it going. What I gather from the way you talk is that there's a lot of determination involved. There's a lot of there are presumably many points along the way where you felt, damn, why am I doing this? That temptation to just give up, right? Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, but it happens to every sportsman.
Yeah.
People don't understand the workload for sports.
Yeah.
The dedication you need to put in.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
you're a Tour de France rider
Yeah,
or
yeah.
weightlifter or a Formula One driver, the amount of hours you have to put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
as constrained.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the workload you have to do, the dedication you have to put in is tough, and most people do quit.
Yeah.
I've seen very talented drivers and other sportsmen quit along the way just because they didn't want to put in. Because you have to sacrifice time with loved
Correct.
ones, you have to
Correct.
sacrifice studies, you have to sacrifice a whole bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
which a lot of people and families are not willing to do.
Yeah.
So I was lucky I had the support system,
Yeah.
the family supported me
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
way.
yeah. And it's interesting that you mentioned thing about practice, right? Practice. That's the thing with a lot of sports. Like you watch football,
Yeah.
like what I remember reading about David Beckham, right? He practiced his free kicks by kicking the ball through the tire 100 times a day or something like that.
Yeah.
But for racing, to achieve that volume of practice, every time you are burning tires, you are burning fuel,
Yeah.
you are burning consumables, you risk crashing your car, right? All the engine rebuilds and all that. Each practice along the way is not only time consuming, it's also very, very costly.
Yeah, so that was a problem. I believe, that 10,000 hours rule thing.
Yeah.
If you want to master something, you need to do it for 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
I believe that's about accurate.
Yeah.
And in my day, we had no simulators.
Yeah.
So that's why all the drivers I coach, I say, if you're not on simulators or doing e-racing, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Because the new drivers are, and that's how they get to the 10,000
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
In my day, it was a bit different. When drivers were driving in Formula One, they were testing every week.
Yeah.
They were doing 3 days a week testing.
Okay.
Yeah. So not us. Us and Minardi, we did 2 days testing for the whole year.
Yeah.
But a real team had to be testing 3 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how they got the hours.
Yeah, actually, I remember, back in the days, I've read before, some of the smaller F1 teams that don't have as much resources, they literally practice less than everybody else.
Yeah.
Because each practice session burns a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true. It's expensive. So the good thing is now with simulators and stuff, it's more accessible for drivers to do a lot more testing. And they can reach that 10,000 hour limit through in the virtual world, and you can learn all those tricks before you actually get into the real world.
Nice. So the thing is that your journey, right, all the way to F1, then your time in F1 was brief. That was I would say the most prominent part of your career.
Yeah.
But the thing is that after you left F1, it was also around the same time that I came into this industry. Then which is why I had the privilege of also knowing of also being able to follow what you're doing after that. So I happen to know that you continue to be a very competitive driver at many races.
Yeah.
But would you like to share with our audience what were you doing after F1?
So I guess you could say I became a journeyman driver.
Yeah.
I was just basically going wherever I could to try and drive and earn a bit of money.
Yeah.
So I went to the States first, did some racing in Champ Car.
Yeah.
That went really well actually. I was quite happy with a few races we did there, but we didn't have the money to continue. Went to Australia, did V8 supercars.
Nice.
And then we did A1. A1 was good for us.
Oh yes. I was there when you launched A1.
Yeah, because we tried to make it as Malaysian as possible. So we had a fully Malaysian team.
Yeah.
Only the chief engineer, and of course the commercial director and the owner with me, Jack Cunningham. They were the only foreigners. Yeah. So the rest were all Malaysian. And we won 5 races.
Nice.
We raced against the best, against people like Nico Hulkenberg, Neil Yarni, what's the other guys? Quite a few other guys. That really top drivers who were works drivers there, El Bamba, a whole bunch of other drivers. And we won against really good fields.
Actually, I was there for the Sepang League. I think that was in the end of 2008.
Yeah, finished 5th for that race. So that was really good. And then after that, I took on a role with as head of driver development for Caterham Formula One.
Oh yeah.
Lotus Formula One team. Then came to do a little bit more driving. Did some GT3 driving with Audi.
Yeah, I was there when you raced for the Audi in Korea.
Oh right. Yes, that's right.
I bumped into you at the flight, if you remember.
Yeah. I won that race, I think.
Right. So that was, it was those few things that was when it's in a way, to me, I saw it was quite unfortunate, because that time, all those times when you were winning all these races, you weren't getting the kind of publicity that you got during F1.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's fixated on Formula One.
Yeah.
And to be frank, the results are not good enough in Formula One. So but it's hard to change perceptions.
But the thing is that I think all those other races that you raced in, they were also very tough races.
Yeah. No, I was very proud of the stuff we did with A1.
Yeah.
And of course, winning three Audi Cups in a row was good.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. Formula One is, everyone knows Formula One and nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about, Formula One, we talk about the time in racing, a lot of people see, the glory parts of it, right? The one where you drive the cars around, But what is it behind the scenes, the hard work that, a lot of people don't see? Or rather, allow me to frame this other way. So when you meet people and when you talk about your time in racing, what is the one thing that always gets people thinking, wow, I didn't know about that?
Well, one of the things is always lack of glamour.
Yeah.
You always see the Monaco parties and coming out in tuxedos.
Yeah.
And that does happen.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that the drivers go straight home after that and in bed by 9 o'clock. Sort of thing. So you see a small part of the glamour, but most of it's just heavy slog. You're doing cross-country runs and swimming, or you're working out twice a day, 6 days a week.
Yes.
So the overriding feeling, and any sportsman can attest to this, is you just generally feel tired all the time.
And a lot of people don't know that there's a high element of fitness involved in racing.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, generally you work towards race weekends. So race weekends, you peak for those race weekends. So those are the weekends you actually don't feel tired, because you won't train up to those race weekends. But in between those weekends, you're training non-stop. Yeah. So you constantly have a low lack of energy, because you're just tired from training all the time. Yeah. But the other thing that's very interesting was how aggressive Formula One is. And this happens in, I think, also in other high-level sports, but especially Formula One. Yeah. Because the business of Formula One is so dramatic. Yeah. And people will only see the drivers as being competitive, which is not true. Everyone in Formula One is super competitive. From the mechanic to the guy who drives the trucks, to the engineers, to the marketing guys, they're all super aggressive and super harsh. Yeah. Because they're trying to achieve their goals, and it's a very competitive world. Yeah. So you don't see the technical meetings afterwards where everyone is yelling at each other, trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. And failure and excuses are not an option. You know, it's literally, you see, you know that Hell's Kitchen thing?
Yeah.
That thing happens every time, every day in Formula One. But obviously, because you have to work as a team, you're much more constructive with how you say it. You don't just say something stupid.
Yeah.
But that pressure is there, relentless. It's always there. That small bit you see with Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen, that's it every day, every minute of every day of every race weekend. We just don't communicate like that.
Yeah.
But that pressure is exactly the same all the way through. And that people don't realize that.
I assume you don't drive competitively as much as you used to.
No, not at all. I don't consider myself a
How,
driver.
how do you feel that your time in motorsports have affected, or I would say benefited your life after motorsports?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the XF1 driver thing is kind of nice when you're getting parking tickets or but that's about it really. There are obviously there are some, I'm being clear, there are obviously some nice bits along the way, but having that fame, I suppose, is very helpful.
Saved about 500 bucks.
You save about 1,000 plus.
To work out cheaper for me.
3,000.
215, even more.
Facebook for 200 plus, 400 bucks of savings. This concludes part 1 of my interview with Alex Yoong. And here's a sneak preview on what's coming in part 2. So how is it that racing on a video game can cut it in the actual field?
A lot better than the old school drivers. Faster than the other drivers who are karting all the time.
Wow. Why do you need engineers with a game?
Because we're doing data logging. So when we're doing data logging and stuff, we need to do math channels. When we were doing the syllabus, I was really creating it for people like 12 and older.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot of 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds. We forget that sometimes. That motorsports is exciting, because we watch too much Formula One.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like our content, hope you can hit the like and subscribe buttons. Join us also on Evo Club, where we have services such as insurance renewal, inspection centers, trusted workshops, extended warranty, even a business opportunity to run your own car wash. Sign up at club.evomalaysia.com today, and I'll see you in the next video.